Well, if those boats are repaired, I'm standing here with Ron Brown and his boat, and I don't think we'll see that one repaired today. Ron, now that you've got it on the trailer, what's the initial estimate?
Well, this is a couple-week project here, and the main thing here that happened here is we lost a good part of the side right here, and to repair this and have a quick patch put on it and come off, we would wipe out the rest of the boat. So we've done enough of these to know that this is a little more severe than some of our other crashes. And it also got some inner structure inside here, which we call the air trap of the boat, and that's another mainstay of the boat. And we also suffered some damage when the skid fin went through the left front of the sponson up there, and it broke some frames out. And a couple hard hits on that, and we know that that would blow off too. So we really just can't go out there right now and risk losing the whole side of the boat. And you know, it's sorry for the fans. We had a good running boat today. We really felt confident we could have done well, and Mark was doing one heck of a job. And it was plenty wide in that turn. It's just one of those racing incidents. Another boat skipped over on top of us, and we're not mad. It's just a shame that we couldn't be out there competing and giving the fans some kind of a show.
And the good news is, after all of that, it is Mark Webber that came away safely, indeed, with all this damage, and the canopy worked well.
The canopy did its job. Mark's very, very happy that the canopy is severely scratched. Obviously, the sponson of the boat landed on top of the canopy, but as we're very happy with the structure, held up very well. Mark came out of it with not a scratch on him. But obviously, when the rudder goes through the side of the boat like this and the skid fin goes through the front of the boat, then we can't really control that kind of damage.
And that'll be our word from the Budweiser pit.
Heat 3A, driver Mark Tate's going to have the inside lane, lane number 1, in the close call phone card. In Heat 2B, he had a second place finish. In Heat 1A, a second place. He's got 600 points, looking good, moving toward that final heat. Mark, although he's had a few problems and had to let go a win in one heat, he nevertheless is getting ready to get serious about it down this third section, and he's still in the hunt. Outside of the close call, it will be the Pico American Dream. Yes, the same boat that went upside down in the first Heat 2A is back in Heat 3A. Mark Evans ready to drive it. And he did not get any points, so he definitely has to get some to add to that first place finish he got in Heat 1B, and that's exactly what we'd like to do. If he came out of here with a win this time, he'd head right into the final in dandy point standings. Right outside of the Pico American Dream, it's going to be the First Choice Office Machines, a business machine boat driven by Nate Brown. In 2B, he got a 225-point third place, a fifth place in Heat 1A. He needs more points to make that final assured, but he's got a boat that can do it for him. They've made a combination change. Look for him to be strong. The Appian Geronimo, the Packet Engines presents Appian Geronimo from Spokane, will be in the 4 lane. And that's driven, of course, by Mitch Evans from Chelan, Washington. In Heat 2B, got a 4th place, another 4th place in Heat 1B. He's got to do better than that, knows it, has boat speed to burn sometimes, but it's not consistent. He's going to need it this time if he's going to make that final in any kind of a good lane change position. Right outside the 19 boat is the 16 boat. This boat came back on top of the Miss Budweiser last time out when we tried to run Heat 2A, and now the Elam Plus has been fixed. Rudder damage, apparently the only damage. That's been repaired. Jimmy King, who's going to be thinking about the last time he piggybacked, is going to be out there hoping for sure that he gets a chance to pick up some points. He only has 300, a second place finish in Heat 1B. He wants more. 2A, he got nothing in him. He's going to need to get a really good finish here, so he's going to have to be in the hunt. The 9 boat is the X-side boat, and of course the Mike and Lori Jones, the owners of this race boat. Doug Brow, the driver. Now Doug was a provisional starter moving in the outside, having to trail, but they're going to allow him to start in the 6th lane as the pace boat. He gets to move right up to the line, does Doug Brow, because we already have a pace boat or a trailer boat that's in this one, and it's right outside the U9. And this X-side, of course, of a name synonymous with Brow. 32 years ago, his dad drove a Miss X-side also. And it will be the Chaplin's Bellevue VW in the last slot. This will be an outside start in Rooster Tail back, but that'll allow, nevertheless, Brian Reynolds to do what he did before, and that's move right on up. He picked up 300 points for a second place in 2A, and he's looking to improve upon that and get a final heat start position also. Here's the close call moving out of the pit area now. We have a yellow flag on the race course, which means we're in starting sequence. Look at how the boat's submarine, literally submarine. That's a good sign. Scott Pierce, he's got a bigger wheel on it this time.
I think you may have some water in the boat. You notice how nose down it is, and they did pick it up with Mark strapped in the boat prior to leaving the dock to drain some water, so hopefully he'll get it up.
All right, close call will be in lane 1, assuming he gets out onto the race course, and he's headed out there now. Pico American Dream in lane 2, so it's going to be a battle between the two marks as they go down into the first corner. And of course, Mark Evans has to think in terms of the damage around his skid fin area and whether or not that's all stout enough to handle what will be a very fast first corner. The first choice business machines going to be right in there as well, pushing. But there's the Pico. The last time you saw that boat, it came by us upside down with a whole bunch of guys standing on the bottom. The last time you saw that boat in action, Mark Evans was trying to extricate himself from the race boat, his feet kicking out in a breech berth kind of a situation out there. But look at the way in which they put that back together again. You'd swear nothing ever happened to that boat.
No, I think this must be a first, Mike. I can't imagine that anybody's ever flipped one, and certainly I never did, and came back to race that day. It's a hell of a testament to the whole Pico organization. They've done a wonderful job.
That's the closest thing to RC racing there is. Pick it up, shake the water out of it, put it in the next heat.
I will tell you, the biggest round of applause I've heard today was from that end of the pits, and other crews were cheering as well for the Pico team, just saying congratulations, guys. Way to get that boat back together.
Yes, indeed. You saw just a moment ago the yellow flag flying from the boat across the way from the start-finish line. You will note the water is rougher, and you will note from that aerial shot that there are some large swells down in turn number 1. You'll also note that the wind is pretty stout out here, coming out of the direction Scotty hates the most. That means the north. And as the boats head down the back straightaway where they are right now at lower speed as they bunch up to get ready to make their start, they're going to come down the next time. There you see that wind. It's very stout. The woman holding that flag really having to hang on to it hard.
And one of the problems that I see, Michael, is that the way that they've repositioned the course, when you first set the boat, in other words, first take the first grab of the wheel in the left turn mode, is when you expose the wide right sponson to the wind.
That's right. A completely different airfoil, a completely different presentation of the race boat, but really at the highest point of velocity on the race course. That all spells at least high drama, if not danger. Here they come around the corner now.
They're still on a yellow
They're still
flag.
on a yellow. Now the white should be displayed, and they'll send them around one more time. With the wind and with the chop, that's not good news to these guys, because they really would rather not churn up this race course one more time if they could avoid it, but they're not going to be able to avoid it.
They're pretty raggedy. They need to get themselves lined up, and
so that alignment looks cattywampus to me, not capable of making a start there unless they're all on the same plane, and they sure weren't on that one. So the drivers will have to get on the same page and get rolling here. We have a problem with the ELAM. It's pulling off the race course.
It was slow to come out of the course, or come out of the pits, Michael, and now coming back in, obviously still not ready to run after its accident with the Budweiser.
Jimmy King went out and tried it. Obviously, he's unhappy with what he feels on that one, so he will return to the pit area. We'll find out why he could not make a start. That takes us down by 1 now. Still, however, we've got 6 race boats out there. That will not allow Brian to move up to the start line, I don't believe. Well, yes, he did. He did move up.
It should allow him to move up. He was not back there as the rookie. He's past that portion of his
That's right.
driving indoctrination, but they just had too many boats in the heat.
He should be a frontline starter now, indeed, and he has moved up toward that. That makes him the pacer. The outside boat instead of Doug Brow in the Miss Exide. This time around, it looks like he is staying back nevertheless. Does not look like he will move up. Here they come to the line. This time the alignment is better, but not perfect. Let's see if they give him a green anyway. They have without a perfect alignment in the past. Does it happen? It does. Green flag goes down. Everybody came off the pedal, though. And it looks like Nate Brown got the best of that start.
Yeah, Nate Brown really snookered him on that one.
Nate Brown did. He snookered him, and he's got the first choice business machines out of the corner, but here comes the Pico alongside of him. Mark Evans wasting no time, and also the close call on the inside is pulling up, so we've got 3 of them abreast now as they go down into the wind, into the more dangerous part of the race course now. Let's keep an eye on them because they are really pressing it down there. Mark Evans with a slight lead. Here comes Tate on the inside pulling alongside, and don't forget Nate Brown's out there too. Everybody gets a little wild, gets a little loose. This is where Mark Evans went over the last time, but not this time. And they are virtually deck to deck off the corner, off the turn and down the front straightaway. It is Mark Tate on the inside, Mark Evans in the middle, and Nate Brown on the outside, and they are really racing strong down into turn number 1, ending lap number 1. It is the close call first, Pico second, and the first choice third. 135.5 down into the lower corner. Rooster tails fly off the skid fins. It's rough down there.
Mark Tate took him out pretty far going through the corner there, and I'm sure Mark Evans had to make a right turn, which has lost some distance to him. But typical Mark Evans fashion, he will not give up. He will charge all the way.
That's exactly what happened. Tate, typical Tate fashion. Take him to the beach if you can. Make him drive a big race course and give yourself as much room as possible. We're into turn number 2 now. We're on lap number 2, and it is Mark Tate in the lead in the close call. Comes off the exit pit in about the 2.5 lane, takes Mark Evans even wider this time, providing himself some more course distance, making the angle of the Pico American Dream even that much deeper to overcome. And it has turned into a pretty strong lead now for Mark Tate as he comes down into the corner for the last time in turn number 1, 136.64 last time around.
Tell you, Mitch Evans, Mark's brother's making a heck of a run on Nate Brown in the Appian boat.
He is indeed. For 3rd and 4th, that's a contest still. And also Doug Brow is taking a run now at Brian Reynolds up the back chute for the last time with a half a course to go. It is the close call. And it is Mark Tate's heat. It looks like he's got everything under control. Mark Evans, I think, has been satisfied here, Scott, to just let him have it at this point. No sense in risking anything now. We've already taken risks enough today.
Well, he has, and he's got to feel good that he got through heat without going upside down. That's an accomplishment in itself.
It is indeed, and he picked up sufficient points to make it work for him, and that'll help him get to the final. Here's the checkered flag now for the close call. Across the line first, Mark Tate. Second across the line, it is going to be the Pico American Dream. But look at Mitch come on the inside here. We got a great battle for 3rd and 4th. Will it be Mitch Evans? No, it will not. Nate Brown will take the lead across Mitch Evans as they come in 3rd. Nate Brown 4th, Mitch Evans.
Well, Mitch Evans.
First choice is 3rd, and the Appian Geronimo is 4th. And across the line now, it is Brian Reynolds 5th. 6th place going to Doug Brow in the Miss X side.
That was really something. Mitch Evans really put a move on Nate Brown. He caught him napping big time there.
He sure did, and Nate had to really stick it down to the wood to outrun him to the finish line. So Mark Tate's profile beginning to look much, much better here at the Texaco Cup at Seafair. He got beat fair and square by the DeWalt Tools the last time he was on the race course. This time he refused to get beat, and he managed to finish 1st place, but he had to struggle for it because a game Mark Evans worked him over pretty good, at least for a lap and a half before he established his lead, and Mark Evans seemed satisfied to let him have it.
It seems like the close call has got a better handle on the ride of the boat. The water's obviously rougher now than it was in the earlier heats, and I thought the boat rode better. And Pico looked like it ran very good. They're just down a little bit on power, or possibly had a little bit too big propeller on it.
That's exactly what happened.
All right, you got Mark Tate with a close call. Close calls all day long, but this is the kind of close call you had in mind, I think, isn't it? This
Well, it feels good to win one of these heats. We've been struggling, earlier today. We just couldn't get the boats through the corners. We got through the corners there pretty good, and it was probably the best boat ride we've had in quite a while.
Are you concerned that the later start, if you do get into the final, will create rougher water at 540 or so, or is that not a concern?
Well, the wind has definitely picked up now from even earlier heats, and by then it might settle down again. We're just going to have to wait and see.
That's a good outlook. It's really good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, there's Mark. Let's go back and see what Steve Wilmer and Bernie Little are up to. Steve and Bernie, could I just have you turn around for a second here? It's been another crazy day in Seattle. At this point, you're feeling pretty good. Bernie, the great sport that he is, comes over to congratulate you. Oh, you guys are buddies. Why don't you just join the same team?
Well, I'll tell you, we are awful good friends on land. We go out to dinner all the time. We travel together. We follow one another's buses. And we have a hell of a good time. And then we get out here, we're warriors, you see. And we hate one another.
You notice he didn't offer to give me one of his boats for the final lead.
I didn't say we're that good of friends, did I? But, see, now that he's not racing, he'll come over here and cheer for me as I do for him. So, Close Call and Budweiser are pretty close friends.
Well, good. It's what keeps the sport great, I think. You guys are good buddies, but when you get in the trenches, it's a different story.
Well, if we were racing today, I'd throw him in the water right now.
I don't blame you. All right.
Well, you'd try.
All right, guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Two of the greats of hydroplane racing, Steve Wilmer, Bernie Little, one of them not racing today, and one of them with a chance to win it all. Back up to you guys.
And a chance to win for the first time ever in Seattle. Here are now the official results.